Yes, my dear friends, welcome back to the channel GH247 News. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful Saturday. And hey guys, today is a D-Day. Ghanaians are leaving South Africa. 342 Ghanaians are departing South Africa today. There on your screen is a video. Ghanaians at the Ghana High Commission in South Africa. Hundreds of them getting ready to be transported to the airport. Yes, the flight has been given clearance to land, and Ghanaian community gathered there at the High Commission. As you can see on your screen, they are leaving today. 342 Ghanaians are departing South Africa today. Tomorrow, another set of 342. Ladies and gentlemen, I will not be speaking much, but I also want to point out, South Africans are finally beginning to turn on their own. Yes, JACINTA and his March for March group, many South Africans are beginning to fight them back. Why? In the past few days, we understand a young man, 19-year-old South African was unalive just because he could not speak their own language called Chonga. The Chonga language is a tribe that is in South Africa. Because the guy could not speak the language, he was attacked and unalive in South Africa. Due to that, South Africans now are turning up against their own, fighting their own people right now as we speak. Listen, you joke with Ghana, you begin to create enemies in your own household. It's as simple as that. Ghanaians are leaving. Now South Africans are fighting their own because what they are doing, it's going to finally turn up against each other. It's going to, listen, it's going to become a tribal war in South Africa or civil war in South Africa. Just as they've started unaliving their own people, mistaking them to be a foreigner, that is the same way they'll continue to unalive others, and you see another group that will start forming up to fight against this group. I'm leaving you to watch the videos to the end. And please let me hear from you in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and let me know where you are watching us from. I will appreciate it if you can send us your comment. Let us know where you are watching from. But please watch this video to the end.
A very bad afternoon, South Africa. My name is Sakana Mkari, a PYP brand South Africa ambassador. I am very saddened this afternoon about this young man who was killed in Mossel Bay, all because he couldn't speak Tsonga or Xhosa. This March and March thing is becoming an enemy to a lot of us. We have our families that are studying in different places that can't speak Xhosa or Zulu. It cannot be correct that people get killed because they cannot speak Zulu or Xhosa. This nonsense must stop. We are not going to allow it. Tsonga people, I urge you to take action. I am one of the people that is not going to agree to this nonsense.
What March and March is not going to do is to try to remove themselves from the death of Nhlamulo, a 19-year-old Tsonga boy who was murdered. They are not going to remove themselves because they are the influencers of this whole thing. They cannot now act like it's not because of people like them that this took place. They must be responsible. They are the ones responsible for the poor boy's death. They are responsible. Finish and Clara said.
My heart is literally racing. Exactly a minute after I uploaded a video about the marginalization of Tsonga and Venda people, I come across this post. For those of you who cannot read or understand Tsonga, let me translate this horrendous post to you. A young Tsonga lady made a post on Facebook stating that her brother was unfairly targeted during a March and March protest in Eastern Cape, where he was fatally stabbed, which led to his death simply because he is Tsonga. The victim was a 19-year-old Tsonga boy from Limpopo who was unfairly targeted. Due to his darker complexion, he was confused for a foreigner and then stabbed to death. If nothing is done now, If nothing is done now, let me tell you something. This thing isn't going to be just about foreigners. This is going to be a war amongst ourselves. I am currently livid to hear of such news. And even if this child were a foreigner, why are people from March and March stabbing people? Why are they stabbing them? Why are they killing them? Is this what March and March is? The people who are doing this are taking away from the real cause of this whole movement. Because if things are like this now, everything that we are currently fighting for in this country will go down the drain. You guys are starting a fire which I feel unfortunately cannot be put out. To Miss Jacinta Zuma, I think this is my second video that I'm making, tagging you. Please speak on this before it becomes a wider issue than it already is. Limpopo people, Tsonga people, Venda people, we are scared and we fear for our safety during this protest. What will be done to ensure our safety? This is not what we believe March and March is about. Why are the people of South Africa being harmed during this whole thing? Why are we dying? I am someone who stands for the cause of March and March in terms of illegal immigration. However, I cannot stand for the victimization of my people. What will be done to ensure our safety during this whole protest? Let's speak on this before it becomes a wider, bigger issue which we all cannot contain. Justice for Nhlamulo, justice for this young Limpopo boy, for this young South African boy. This is not a time to turn a blind eye. We need to do something before it becomes bigger than what it is.
We are appealing to all organizations, including March on March. They must stop marching and doing what is the work of law enforcement agencies. They are not legally permitted in the country to do raiding, to verify passport. It's not within the law, and that's what we are communicating. Number two is that protests are allowed in this country. Marches are allowed, and they must be within peaceful framework. And we do not want to be seen as government constraining South Africans as if we are favoring foreign nationals. We are not. But we are urging them that let's not have things that are getting out of line. We can't, as a state, fold our arms and say, because it's our citizens, therefore we can't arrest them, even when we see that they are doing illegal things. So that's the communication, and that was the intention even for Monday.
So March and March has issued that June 30th deadline for undocumented immigrants to leave the country, and they're also warning of a national shutdown if government doesn't.
We might end up with people losing their lives, and somebody must be held accountable should any lives are lost. But our intention as the state is to protect lives and to protect properties. And we are urging them, because we can't stop them, Iman. We do not have the constitutional right to stop them, the legal right to stop them. So they can march. What we are appealing to them is that their marches must be peaceful. Secondly, is that they must make application, because even including March on March was saying to us in the meeting that certain posters that they are seeing circulating are not theirs, actually. They even said, and we said to them, we do believe that some of these marches are going to be infiltrated from the information that we have. And if they're infiltrated and something terrible happens, the leaders and the organizers are going to have to take responsibility. And we are saying, let's work together so that we protect the leaders of this organization.
Good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I think just bring us up to speed. A busy day for March and March in KZN, but also here in Gauteng, where you've taken this issue up. Talk to us about those activities, what you wanted them to achieve, and, you know, if there's a sense that you were able to do that.
Hi, Naledi, and thank you so much for the opportunity, and good evening to the viewers. I think it's been a very busy couple of days and weeks, actually. As you know, March and March started in March, and it's been a couple of months now that we've been making the call to government to attend to the matter of illegal immigrants. And the pace at which it's been happening has not been to the satisfaction of the general public of South Africa. As you know, March and March are ordinary citizens of the country of South Africa who are not in any way politically affiliated to any political party. So it's just us as South Africans saying that we've had enough of the crime, we've had enough of the influx, the damage to infrastructure, the shortage of resources, and the many other problems that have been brought on by illegal immigrants in South Africa. And we've made this call to government, and we have been constantly blue-ticked and not given the attention that we feel that this matter deserves, because it is a crisis. And so therefore we decided that we have been asked and tasked as South Africans to make sure that we protect this country and we protect its resources and its people. So that's what we've been doing lately, and making sure that the future of ourselves and our children is taken back to the hands that it rightfully belongs to, which is South Africans.
But is that to say that March and March in various parts of the country, so in Durban, for instance, as well as in Rosettenville today, and this is with clarity that I'm looking for, that March and March protesters and your own members were outside healthcare facilities trying to stop foreign nationals from accessing healthcare facilities?
I think when using terms like trying to stop illegal immigrants from accessing, we take away from what the real issues are. Nobody's trying to stop illegal immigrants from entering into facilities. Doesn't start there. It starts at the point that we should not even have illegal immigrants in the country to begin with. And if the government is failing to protect South Africans, if the government is failing to protect South African resources, then it's the duty of every South African to step up and play their part to protect what is rightfully ours for ourselves. It's not trying to stop anyone.
So I'm not looking for the reasoning, I'm looking for the facts of the matter. So the action that came with the marching of today, and I think that any South African certainly can understand the reasoning. Illegal immigrants are a really big problem in our country. I think everyone can agree with that. The question is, did March and March members stop foreign nationals from accessing healthcare today in Durban and in Rosettenville?
That's why I'm correcting you, Naledi, because you're not using the correct terminology. And if you're doing that, you're going to change the situation into what it's not. Because I have said this before. It's like saying that South Africans are xenophobic for trying to enforce the law. It can't be xenophobic if we're enforcing the law. Today, we were enforcing the laws of this country by preventing people who are in the country illegally from accessing resources that they are not supposed to be accessing, because by right, those people should be getting deported and taken back to their countries. That is what we were doing, protecting South Africa. Because as a forum, because let's call it a forum, forums are all over the country. They are there to help the police to fight crime. We're doing the same thing as South African citizens. The only difference here is that in South Africa, with illegal immigrants, they always get treated with child gloves, as if they're not the same people who have broken the laws of this country and come to the country illegally. How different is March and March to a normal forum that goes to the community to fight crime? I don't see the difference with what we're doing to everything that every other forum does. Okay. We're enforcing the laws of South Africa.
You know, you talk about the laws, and the channel earlier spoke to the South African Human Rights Commission that wanted to remind the public and stakeholders, and I'm going to read from the statement that we received from the Human Rights Commission, because this is what it does. You talk about laws. The Human Rights Commission says Section 27.1 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa clearly states that everyone has the right to have access to healthcare services, including reproductive healthcare. Then it says, this constitutional provision means that all people in South Africa, regardless of nationality, should have access to basic healthcare services. Stay with me for a little bit, because then it goes on to say, this includes South African citizens, refugees and asylum seekers, and then listen to this, documented and undocumented migrants, as well as stateless persons. So you talk about the law, but this is what our Constitution says, Jacinta.
Okay, so Naledi, there is no part in the Constitution that says undocumented, documented people have a right to access to healthcare. The word that is used is everyone, and everyone is subject to whatever you interpret everyone to be. And also, to add to that, there is no constitution in the world, firstly, that is designed for people from outside. Every single constitution in every single country is designed for people who are citizens of that country. Second to that, there's not a single constitution in the country that contradicts itself. So how can the Constitution of South Africa say that illegal immigrants are in the country illegally, and therefore need to be deported, but then that same constitution says those people must have a right to everything that South Africans have. It's not fair. You're interpreting the constitution